Hi friends, this is Tammy. I was just wanting to show you this cute project I did on one of these long rectangular Dollar Tree frames. Has a nice shiplap look in the middle. I just thought the frame needed to be darker, a little more contrast there. So I'm taking my Waverly Antique Wax and a baby wipe and just rubbing it all along there. I'll get the top really good, and then I'll go on along the outside as well. And the baby wipe just gives it more of a stained look, and I just really thought it finished the frame off. Kind of messy on the fingers sometimes. You just keep having to get different spots of the baby wipe, but it's pretty quick and easy. Now that I have the frame done, I'll set that aside and I'll start working on the burlap flower. I have this 6-inch wide burlap ribbon, and I cut off a piece probably at least 18 inches long, I'm guessing. And you leave about 3 or 4 strands on each end. You don't want to unravel the whole thing, but you take out each long string one at a time, as I'm doing here. And I'll finish the rest off camera here. So now that they're all out, I fold it in half and I'll start hot gluing all along those long sides, long edges. It's a little bit off camera again, sorry about that. And I just grabbed a pen to help protect my fingers from the hot glue. Usually I have a stick or something, but it was nowhere to be found. Just go through and press those edges. Make sure they're glued really securely. Getting here toward the end, and then we'll start rolling it to make our flower. Okay, now you just start rolling it little by little and put a little dab of glue every half roller or so. Just, you don't want it to unravel or unroll in any way. You just want to make sure it's all secured nicely, and keeping the bottom flat as possible as you roll it. And definitely be careful to not burn your fingers here. I've burned my fingers so many times. I'm sure most crafters have. Just a little glue, and then keep rolling and keep it snug and tight as you roll it. Getting to the end here, you will really want to secure the end. So I put some glue down and then kept pressing it down with the end of my glue gun. Just made sure it was really nice and secure. And then you can leave it scrunched up, or you can flare it out as much as you like. Again, just making sure that last end is secure, and there's your flower. Isn't it cute? Okay, we'll set it aside and go back to our frame. I've got some macrame cord to use as a stem. You could use string, ribbon, wire, any kind of twine or for your stem. You can make a straight stem. I'm making mine kind of curvy. And just glue it all the way down to the bottom. And snip it off when you get to the bottom there. And there's your stem. Now I made these leaves. I cut them out of green felt. You can cut them any shape, size you want. And I cut one, and then I used it as a guide to cut 3 more. And I'm just kind of putting a dot of glue at the bottom and gathering them so they're a little more cupped, a little more flared like a leaf, but you can leave them flat too. I'm going to do this on all 4 of them. So now I'm going to glue my flower on. I'm going to put quite a bit of glue on the bottom flat part of that flower. Then I'm going to glue 1 leaf on the underneath the flower, and I wasn't sure yet if I wanted 2 up there or just what. So after I glue the 1 leaf, then I'll work on the bow. So for the bow, I'm just taking a few different pieces of ribbon and lace and just putting them in the shape of the awareness bow and stacking them on top of each other. I'm glad I put that brown rickrack in it. Just need a little bit of contrast, a little bit of pop of dark color. And then I'm getting a long string of twine, and can't really see right now because I went out of focus again. But I wrapped it around several times, then I'm tying it in a knot, and then I'm tying it in a bow, and I'll leave the bow on top of the ribbon bows. So I'm placing the bow where I want it. And then after I placed it there, I decided I did want another leaf up top underneath the flower. Then the other 2 I'm just putting on the stem. And for the little fence, I had these little thin scalloped edge pieces of wood that I got from my daughter actually, so I'm not even sure where she got them. But I'm just going to use the baby wipe and the antique wax again and do the same thing on them. And hindsight is 20/20, right? After I got this on, I was thinking I probably should have dry brushed a little bit of white on it just to give it a different look and a little bit of contrast, but it still looks really cute with my brown fence down there. And I'll just glue it to the bottom of the frame over the top of that stem. I think it would look cute to put a little bit of Excelsior or Spanish moss coming up out of that fence as well, but I didn't. I just left it plain like that. Now I'm going to do the tag, and I struggled with the tag, I'll tell you. So I had this little piece of yellow cardstock paper, so I made it into a tag, and I'm distressing all the edges like I always do. And then I'm going to use my little letter stamp set and stamp the word spring. But I use the same brown, and as I'm stamping them, I'm realizing it's just not dark enough. Those letters aren't going to show enough, but I kept going. So 1 letter at a time. There's my S. And I should have had my letters handy, so I'm taking all the time looking for each letter that I needed next. And when I get to the G, I didn't realize it, but the little pink rubbery part wasn't on there. So I'm stamping, and you'll see that I stamped the little square instead of the letter G, and I didn't notice it until I stamped it down. And I'm like, oh no. So I have this little square of ink. So then I realize it, so I take the little G and I stamp it on top anyway. And I'm realizing I don't like this tag at all, but instead, for the sake of the video, I still use my twine and tie it on there best I can, and then I'm gluing it underneath my bow. But after the video's over, I redid the whole bow. I tore it off and did a whole new bow. And I stamped the word spring in black ink, and it looks much better. And you will see it in the last little frame of this video. But that's it for this project. And you'll also see how I secured a holder to hold the back right there, so I could hang it on the wall. And I appreciate you watching. That's it for today. Thank you. Bye.